and didn't love the way.
Hey y'all.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We are back. This is Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. We are back for another Tuesday evening.
That's right.
And of course, this is the lovely Charlie, and I am JR, aka we are Fly Guy and the Fly Girls.
That's right.
I am don't call it a comeback because I've been
fly.
fly. Who what Fly Girl are you this week?
Every week I'm Fly Money. You know, I just
Fly Money. Hey, she's Fly Money this week.
Chick.
Yeah. And we got our producer Kim in the house. She's back there hiding behind the camera again, but she's in the house.
She came out last week though.
Yes, she did.
It was like we had a rope on her. We just kind of pulled her back over here, you know. But she did good.
Yeah. We got Kim is the second Fly Girl, aka this just Fly. How you doing, Kim? I know they can't see you, but
yeah. See, we get to hear it.
That's where we get to hear her voice.
They can hear no see, no hear no see.
So, we thought we would talk about what it takes to get a man, you know, from the female and male perspective.
That's right.
And a
good topic.
Yeah,
And interesting that one of the statistics that I read, they said 25% of people would be single their whole entire life. Wow. Yeah. I mean, they would have less headaches, less arguments. I mean, there's a long list of things
that they wouldn't have, huh?
Yeah. That they wouldn't have to worry about.
So of that 25%, did they say how many were male and female?
They did not. But I think the later in life that you go statistically means that you have a higher chance of remaining single. So the highest number for men, I think that I read, was 60% of men in their 20s are single. But men will commit to a woman at a higher age, which I still think, it takes two. So if a man is going to marry in his 30s and a woman's going to marry in her 20s, kind of again it's two. How do they get those statistics? But that's what the number is, that the man is going to get married at a much older age, especially if he does not get married in his 20s.
Okay, well, we're going to reverse this. We're going to go about this from the opposite side of the track. So but let's talk about those 20-year-olds for a minute. When you were 20,
I know, right?
See, she's already teasing me about being old, so I had to get that. I had to get that in quick. When you were 20, how what did you think a man wanted from a woman?
In my 20s, gosh, I'm going way back. He wanted to have fun. He wasn't necessarily so concerned about a meal every day. I think in my mind, he wanted to have fun. He wanted to go places and do things. And eat occasionally. Lots of sex.
Eat occasionally.
In the 20s, I hate that. That's all.
So eat occasionally.
Yeah.
just to build your strength.
I know that's it. He's over there laughing. You want to come over here? We need to have you on the show today. No, he said no habla inglés. He don't want to be.
All right, we got our producer Vic in the house. What's up, Vic?
Vic says not today. So, Dad, when you were 20, what did you want? Because you were married in your 20s. So, what did you want?
Well, I guess we got to take it as it comes. But I don't know if there's certain things, a few things that I would want from a woman now that I might not have wanted from a woman in my 20s. But
let's talk about just the 20s.
In my 20s, guys. Well, I'm gonna speak for guys. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put on.
And Vic's gonna have to speak today because we want to hear from.
Yeah, we might maybe we can sneak him out here after the break. But guys, we pretend that it isn't. But most guys' egos are pretty fragile. In their 20s, they're coming into their own, but they haven't arrived, as far as being really totally comfortable in their own skin. So, a guy in his 20s is going to want a woman that, on in the character side, he's going to want a woman that will
Be soft
understand
enough.
that he is this big M&M. He got this hard candy shell, but he's kind
Right.
of soft on the inside.
Right.
So
And she has to be soft enough to
yeah,
with him. So
yeah.
so she doesn't crack his shell.
Right, doesn't crack his shell. Allows him to, she assists him to become, that man that is confident in himself. Well, yeah, like you said, in the 20s, lots of sex, of course. Although I would beg to differ about that meal. I kind of wanted my meals.
Okay. Well, yeah, and that's true. I mean, you want to eat, and I think it's important. But I just remember, like, where are we going? Like, like planning different things. It was it wasn't a sedentary life. I'm saying the right word. I'm saying
Sedentary.
It right. Sedentary life, where you're just sitting down and not going anywhere, and that just wasn't it in your 20s.
Right.
Of course, you sat down at home, but you're planning where you're going next.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember in my 20s sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm just going to spend the whole weekend at home." Because if you remember, in my 20s, I would get off work at 5:00 and drive from Seattle, Washington to California.
Yeah.
So my weekends was about what was I doing.
Your weekends are still about what you're doing.
Yeah, but they were those weekends were more fun weekends. These
yeah.
weekends encompass work, it seems like.
Yeah.
But I do think that being married in your 20s is probably, marriage is hard, period. But I feel like marriage in your 20s is a lot harder because you're both young and you're both navigating becoming who you are. And then if you bring children into the mix, then you got that other category that you're having to deal with. So I feel like, as you mature, it's supposed to get easier, but I feel like definitely in your 20s, marriage is very, very hard. And for, like you said, for the man who is that hard shell, soft on the inside, the woman who's supposed to be in that supporting role, but at the same time having to be soft enough to not crack his shell, but then also become the woman that she's supposed to be.
Right. So in the 20s, was that what that was? I was wondering what that was. I was like, I heard this. So but yeah.
So can I ask a question, Dad?
Sure.
How many times have you been married?
I have been married twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Times.
Yeah. So
times one. No.
So, but I think this is a good discussion because men, for the most part, I don't think we get together and really talk about the kind of woman that we would like to have in our life. We might get together and needle y'all, maybe even bash y'all a little bit, because well, I'm just saying,
I know. And the producer over there, you have any comments? Do you know habla English as well?
Well,
she, everybody in the room was like, we don't want, like,
well,
what's so treacherous about these waters?
So this show is called Speaking the Facts, so we have to speak facts. So
right.
The facts are that women get together and bash men, and men get together and bash women. Sometimes, it isn't like it's, it isn't. Hopefully, it's not an everyday occurrence, right. But it happens,
right?
So, do you think that women bashing men and men bashing women happens more in your 20s, or do you think it happens more in the 30s or 40s, or?
Or
does it happen all?
I know, yeah. I don't know that it ever ends because you talk to people who are in different relationships and they're talking about this, that, and the other. I feel like in your 20s, you're talking about multiples of men, because in your 20 you're talking to multiples of people. If you're if you're single, that's what you're definitely doing. It probably in your 30s you maybe kind of narrow those numbers down. Maybe you don't have so many. Maybe your 40s it's just maybe one or two, I don't know. But I feel like the conversations are different, as far as who you're talking to. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but me and Tony, one time, we know, granted, we were teenagers, but we were trying to decide who we were going out with. So we had wrote down on a piece of paper, all the guys that we had met together while we were out. So we're like, okay, well, this guy and this guy, well, this guy, this guy. We're just going down the list of who we were going to go out with.
Yeah.
And so I think that when you are younger, your list is long because you got options, a lot of options. And not to say that you still can't have those options as you get older, but I think what happens is that when you get older, you kind of nixnay the things that you just not going to have time for.
Well, I think the options become more complex, and they become more structured. Yeah,
because you're gonna say, I'm not gonna deal with somebody who ain't got a car. And maybe when you don't have a car, that's something that you don't mind settling for. Maybe it's not a requirement. Kim, Vic, would y'all date somebody today who didn't have a car?
Me.
Would you date someone who didn't have a car?
Kim said in Texas, no. Why would you not date a man in Texas that didn't have a car? Why is Texas different? Oh, yeah. Texas is spread out. Yeah.
Vic, would you date a woman without a car? Is that a requirement?
Yes. Okay. He said.
Yeah. Go for walks. Okay. See, he's a romantic, Yeah. I would say that now that I don't have a car, maybe not. I don't have a car because mine was total,
So you go on dates for a walk with a walk.
That's the only option I got. I gotta go on a walk. But I think that at different times in your life, there are things that you will accept if they're, you need to do better with, So in the 20s, I think you are, okay, you don't have a car. That's okay. I'm going to drive you from here. I'm going to take you to work, pick you up from work. I'm not going to sleep to make sure you get everywhere you need to get to. Yeah. I think in your 30s, say you ain't got a car. Why you ain't got a car? I've had 10 cars, So I think women, we definitely are wanting men to be able to, and I'm going to say lead us. We want to know where you're going. I saw this guy, I don't know who it was, but I love the way he coined it. He's like, women, stop asking about love, because love comes. Ask him, where is he planning on taking you? Like, where is he trying on taking you in this life, in this journey? Because if he doesn't have any plans for you, then, where does love come in at? And I thought that's a real question. I mean, when you were courting women, did you tell them that you loved them? Was that the first thing, or were you telling them all the places you wanted to take them?
I'm laughing because you said, well, did you court them and tell them you loved them?
He's in his, that was the word back in his day.
Courting's a little even before my time. She trying to make me make me 85 years old.
Yeah.
But what was the question again? See,
I know. So when you're dating, and you're trying to get that woman, are you telling her that you love her first, or are you telling her all the things that you would like to do with her?
And I know why I started laughing now, because when you said, do you tell you love her and all that? See, I'm an animation fanatic. So you said that, Pepe Le Pew popped into my head immediately. I love you. Come to me. Come with me to the cast.
And she was not having it.
No, she was not having it.
She was gone. She
but
no part.
But
and I'm old enough to remember that. Dang. And Pepe Le Pew, he that was a long time ago.
Yes, and they have they sidelined this new cultures that we have. They sidelined.
They canceled Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let him be in the new was it Space Jam movie? They said he was
misogynistic.
Misogynistic. And he was a woman chaser.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, of course he is. So, but love is a word that I always threw around very carefully.
I thought I was going to say loosely. You told every woman, I love you.
No, because
come to my room. No,
because let me apologize, because this is going to sound like woman bashing, but it isn't. So I apologize to y'all out there too, and all of y'all. But I have found that if you tell a woman that you love her, and if you do, you should. So I'm not making that point, but
Mhm.
I have found that when things get tense,
Mhm.
that the first thing that the majority of the women that I've met would tend to say is, I thought you said you love me. Well, what they got to do with the topic, what they got to do with the subject,
Uh-huh.
and so then the word becomes a tool of, manipulation,
Mhm.
so I for that reason, I think very early on in my childhood, I kind of saw that, that's a word that you have to use
Mhm.
carefully.
Mhm.
Um, and as I've gotten older, I use it even more carefully
Yeah, because
because,
love means different
well,
at 20 and 30, 40,
well,
50.
well, I don't know if love means
Well,
different.
not that it means it, but it just, I mean, it comes with more weight.
Yes,
I feel like
yes,
in your 20, be like, I love you. You're
yeah,
so funny. I
that's right.
love you, And then, in your 30s, you're like, I like you.
You know,
I'm feeling you.
yep,
What's the other thing? What else? What do you hear? I feel you. This,
yeah. We vibing,
yeah, yeah, vibing,
yeah.
feel some type
Oh,
of way.
oh, well, see,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you tell someone you're making me feel some type of way, isn't that negative? Because first of all, you're
Mm-mm.
using the word making me. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? So if I hear somebody say you're making me, first of all, that
You're
I'm
so
sorry, I'm
literal.
literal. That
He's
implies
literal.
I'm literal. So I'm hearing that I'm taking away your rights because I'm making you. You know what I'm saying?
Look at look at no sexual harassment case here. I'm not making you do anything.
Well, I'm just saying that I believe that in relationships, that words get used as tools of manipulation far too
Hmm.
often,
Right, and that could be
and
why 25% of people say I'm staying single.
yeah, that's why
I'm going to be
25% do. Yeah,
independent.
yeah. So so I and that I have found that that's a problem, has been a problem with me in my relationships, me being literal,
Hmm.
because I have also, and again, let
Can
me
you imagine the argument?
let me
You
get a
make me feel some
sign,
type of
hold
way.
it
What
up,
you
just
mean?
apologizing for. But yeah, because you're making me feel some kind of way, but but
That's a heck of a wait. I thought it was a term of endearment, but obviously not.
but um it's the same thing, that if I want you to do something,
Mhm.
and am I going to give you reasons that it's a good thing to do, or am I going to manipulate you to do it because that's what I want? And
Mhm. So
that's
if somebody says I love you, and will you, I don't know, let's see, iron my clothes and cook me breakfast, lunch, and dinner, even just to get it,
just what is
or
it,
just to
just to
get the
get what?
goods, just to get
Oh,
the goods.
well, I mean,
You
I
think men out there tell women they love them just to get the goods?
well, oh yeah, yeah. Vic over there.
Vic said yes. So we need a poll. Men, have you ever told a woman that you love them just to get it?
And well, the men that
I mean,
would,
a woman doesn't
the
have to tell a man that. If they want it,
well,
they can just get it.
well, I'm gonna
But
say the men. Well, we're gonna talk about that, but the men that would tell, yeah, no, we got to come back and talk about that. But the men
do you
that would
think a
tell,
woman has to tell a man she loves him to get it? I love you, and he's gonna run. He's like, I don't know if I love you, but
but
if you, I mean, seriously, I feel like if a woman tells a guy,
so wait, you're telling me that you think that if a woman walked up to a guy and said, I would, I love you and I would like to have sex with you. You think that the guy would
a
run?
guy who does not want to deal with no type of a commitment, he's gonna
Uh-huh.
be like, love. And he's like, let me get back to you. Or, let's schedule a date, and he's gonna cancel. The guy who's like, he's not in for love, he that does not want a commitment. Oh no. And that could be why, the age, I guess when you get older, that they say, the age for a man to get married is a lot older than a woman, because that man doesn't want that commitment. Not
Well, and I don't know if it's, well, I guess it could be that he doesn't want the commitment, but I think that it's just because guys, like I said, I've always been of the mind that we mature slower than you guys, and I think
Mhm.
partially it's because
And you have less brain cells. It's scientific.
well, we now see now that now we ain't going there. Wait, Vic, I need some help, man. I'm
He's silent.
Vic ain't touching that one.
You gonna pull it up? Cut my mic off.
Yeah, you can just cut her. But I think that with guys, I think that it's just they're finding themselves. I don't know if it's just because it's hard to
But
commit.
how long does it take?
Well, I mean,
I have my one friend that I'm thinking about who's single and her desire is to be married. Our producer's cousin. And, she will say that she's gone through a slew of men, conversation. And, but she is, older. And I feel like, again, we get back to when you're older, maybe you're not going to fall for the okie doke.
Okay. But I mean, does that mean that you come up to a guy with a checklist and this guy, and to kind of say, now, are you 6 foot taller or 6 foot or taller? Check. Are you, do you make a certain amount of money? Check. I mean,
well, when you get older, you come across the things that you want that you're not going to settle for. And I think that's where we get back to the word independent, right? Even for a man, I feel like I have talked to men before who have said, well, I chose not to be with this woman because she was not going anywhere. Because just as much as a woman has a checklist, I think men have a checklist too.
Well, and we
is it just a big butt and pretty face, or what else is on the checklist, Vic? Huh? They have to have more than a pretty butt, a big butt, and a pretty face.
Went back to the.
He's gonna cut me off.
No, but we can't do that. See, this is but there are things that men want, and we started off the show by saying we were going to talk about what men wanted from women. And again, everybody wants to be proud of the person they're with, whether it be it male or female. Everybody wants to be proud of the person they're with. Now, and for some guys, that pride comes 90% from looks. For some guys, that pride will come less from looks and more from looks plus character, or looks plus the ability to cook plus character, or you know what I'm saying? But everyone wants to be proud of the person that they are with.
That's true.
And for I know that for, and let me just break it down a little more personal. For me, I find that I have found that people want you to commit to them before they really realize what that is or what that entails. If you're going through something that is taking you out of your character, taking you out of your where you can't be yourself, that's not a good time to try to commit to somebody else.
That's true.
There are a lot of excuse me.
I have a question.
So
having, arm candy or whatever, a trophy, whatever you want to put it, but for the guys, like, do you feel that the choice, like, and I'm just kind of going through all these different scenarios of things that I've heard, for example, they could say, maybe for a guy, the woman's gained too much weight, or maybe she doesn't cook, or maybe she doesn't clean, but with guys, do you believe that you guys give a person enough of a chance to maybe rectify before you guys move on? Because I know both men and women cheat, but I think that women will say that men cheat more. Y'all men, I don't know.
I don't agree with that. I just think it's done differently. Yeah, no,
that's a whole nother topic.
Well,
right?
it is, but I'll just say in general that I think that when it comes to cheating, again, this is speaking facts. I don't think men are as picky when it comes to cheating as women are. I think women are a lot more picky.
How do you define picky?
Well, see, now this is going back to the 20s. Now in my 20s, I used to get a lot of compliments, and my head swole a little, not too much, a hat size or so. But but
you was light skinned.
There was an error in my life when I thought it was about me a little bit, but I learned that a woman decides pretty much in the first few seconds she sees a man, whether how far she's willing to go with him. Would you say that's true, Kim? I mean, would you decide in the first 15, 30, first minute or so how far you think?
That's because you're more mature. We're talking about when you're 20 years old.
We're talking about 20s, yeah.
You don't remember now?
She don't remember her 20s. We're going to have to bring in the Wayback Machine. We got to bring in the Wayback Machine.
I feel like most people would say in your 20s, you meet a guy, oh girl, he's cute. That's all he had to be was cute. And if he was cute, then you can push through to try to have a conversation.
Yeah, but I just found that I thought that I was talking them into something, and in most cases they were letting me think that I had talked them into it, but it was their idea, it wasn't mine. I guess that's what I'm saying, is that I found that in the that it wasn't really, I wasn't doing nothing, it wasn't my idea. They let me think it was my idea, but
so meaning whatever y'all dates or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So then what about in your 30s?
Well, I think that as I got older, what I began to look for is queenliness, personal responsibility. That whole you make me feel what is it? You make me feel some type of way.
There you go. For that woman to make you feel a type of way.
Yeah. Well,
she can bear children and be a good mother.
What I want is for everybody to be responsible for their own feelings, because they should be.
That's a good way to put it.
Now, I'm not saying now, because if I love someone, that's a choice. The choosing to love, and then love isn't, love is not a feeling, it's an act. The Bible says, and I'm not going there for a second, but the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? That's an act. Right. So love is an act that gets overshadowed by I loved you, but now I don't feel the same way. Well, no, loving someone is a choice. Now,
that's right.
Now you want to get feelings, you want to experience feelings from that choice. Sure, you do.
Right.
But you can't confuse one with the other. Everything that I feel is a choice. And if I love someone, then I'm going to choose to love them tomorrow, just like I chose to love them today. You know what I'm saying? And that way, then the feelings come. But if I get up tomorrow and I don't know whether I love you or not, then I'm probably not going to.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I want, I don't want the person, I don't want my woman telling me I'm making her feel some kind of way.
because that you feel differently the next day.
Because it's manipulation. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're feeling a certain way about a certain thing, let's talk about that. Let's deal with that. So you don't so you no longer have to feel that way about that thing. But I don't think I should be the reason that you're feeling a certain way about a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? And if I am, then
but most men cause women to feel a certain way about a certain thing.
Yeah, y'all stay tuned for round 2. Ding. No.
Right.
Let's see.
But I love how you broke down the word love and feelings. So, you start to generate feelings for a person, and obviously those become stronger.
Right.
And you determine that you love them. You make that determination.
Yeah.
And yes, feelings will change, but if you truly do love that person, that should remain in place no matter what.
Right. Yeah. The willingness to love is an act. Now, of course, like I said, you want to share all the feelings that would come along with a healthy relationship.
Right. Because people get divorced and they say we love one another. It's just that the feelings for one another has changed.
Now, and you're right. You do hear that, and which see, for me, that doesn't make any sense. It sounds good on paper,
right.
as they say, but to me, that doesn't make any sense, because if I love you and you love me, then that should enable us to feel the proper way about each other. If everything else is in place, if we love each other but we can't feel love for one another, there's some kind of a resentment. There's something in the middle that's stopping that process.
Right.
It's not because love failed.
Right. It's
Because
just
again,
all the issues in between.
Because the Bible says love doesn't fail. You know what I'm saying? So it's not
Understand.
that love failed, it's that we have hung on to a resentment, or we have done something that we're not willing to acknowledge. You know, that maybe the other person's telling us something and we're not willing to acknowledge it. Something, there's some kind of a hindrance, of a resentment. You know, because if two people, now if you don't love me, then yeah, it's easy to walk away. But if you really love me, then the feeling that comes along with that should be there, and that's where we need to work from, but not from you're making me feel a certain kind of way, because that's you know, that's you know, that's
change with
that's an easy way.
It's easy out.
Well, it's an easy way for you know, since I'm a male, I'm gonna say it this way. Now you can say it from the female perspective if you like, but from the male perspective, it's easy for a female to put me or a male behind the 8 ball, because I become responsible for your feelings, which is totally.
A man is supposed to. No,
I'm supposed to care about how you feel, but I'm not responsible for your feelings.
Make a woman happy all the time.
Now, see, are y'all watching this over here? She's just make her happy all the time.
I want to have fun and be happy all the time. That's it. No.
Yeah. So, you know, but you know, now in your 40s, what did you see a man wanting from you?
In 40s, definitely meals, lots of meals.
Lots of meals. Oh, the meal count increased.
The meal count increased, you know, because it's more of, you know, domestication. You know, you have your home, you're cooking, you're you know, making sure the kids are in order, you know. Obviously you're working, and then you throw a little travel in there, you know, because you want to be able to take the kids places. So that's, you know, the whole domestication type thing in my 40s, you know, being married in my 40s, you know, all of them. So
yeah,
that would be my life. But, you know, but even when I'm talking with my friends who, you know, are single, you know, and what they're looking for, you know, I tease and say, you know, they're having all these different conversations, and I feel like the women are being straight up with the men and saying, hey, I don't want to waste your time. Either I don't want to be in a relationship, or I am looking for a relationship. So what's going to happen here? And I think that can be intimidating for a guy who is obviously dating because they want some type of relationship, but are they really ready to commit? Because again, you tell a guy, I feel like, hey, I'm looking for something serious and I want to be in a committed relationship. They're like, well, not to say I don't want to be in one, but do I want to be in one with you?
That's what I was about to say. Issue. Do I want to be in one with you? Right. And saying that's more honest. See, we're speaking the facts. That's more honest. Do I want to? Because I think that if any of us in this room could look at somebody and know that they were Mr. or Mrs. Right, then why would you not want to be with that person?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a matter of, I don't want to be with you. Now, do we get in relationships and marry for the wrong reasons?
I would say so.
You know, because
it's not a happy meal, and you can't exchange it back in for the right toy.
Say it's a meal that can be happy, but it is not a happy meal. So well put. But so how do, and I know we're talking about what men want from women, but to divert for a second, how it just as a person looking to have a healthy relationship, how do you look for the right person? You know what I'm saying? What you know, are we honest with ourselves about what we want out of someone else, or what we expect?
I think if men were honest up front, you know, because I think there's a man that wants a woman that he can take care of. You know, he doesn't want her to, to go to work. He wants her to be domesticated. He wants her to be at home. He wants her to not have her own. You know, I think those men still exist. Were you that type of guy?
I'm no, let me, I'm the
Go
type
to
of,
work. No.
I'm the type of, well, yeah, I'm hey, you know, I mean, however we make it, you know, I mean, if I stay home and you work, I mean, I could do that. I could, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I I think that we validate ourselves a lot of times with the wrong things,
Mm-hmm.
which is why the suicide rate in developed countries like the America and Japan is so high, because
Mm-hmm.
we validate ourselves with the wrong things, and then when that validation gets snatched away, we're standing there, you know,
Mm-hmm.
naked to the world.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, so
with expectations that cannot be
they
fulfilled.
cannot be fulfilled,
Yeah.
right? So I you know, I think that you know, and when I talk to kids at schools, I tell them that, you know, that friendship, relationship, you know, these things, these words end with the word ship.
That's right.
Now, so to me being Mr. Literal again, but that takes me back to the old wooden ships out on sea. You know what I'm saying?
You have one captain.
And everybody
Co-captain.
on the ship had to work towards the common good of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And if you
Right.
didn't, they would toss you overboard. But I'm just we ain't taking no minutes around these parts.
Yeah, right.
But
AKA divorce. No.
but yes, I mean, you know, so the marriage is a special relationship. The family, you know, if there is one, is a special relationship.
Right.
And you know, so why would we not work towards the common good?
So basically, both people should work. But see, there's men out there.
No, I
not should, but could work.
Work
if it works for the ship.
Yeah.
But there's men out there that only want to provide and be that main person, and then you have men that want both the women. I'm not both the women, Lord. Now I'm talking about poly. So now the man wants both the women to work and he stays home.
That's right. That's right.
But you know, and then you do have men that are say, okay, we both can work, you know, if it's good for the family, good for the ship. And then, you know, then you just have, you have relationships with both people don't work, you know, and
right. Yeah, I don't know how that works, you know.
I've come across some people that both, you know, receive passive income.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. Well, I'm gonna leave that alone because, but I'm just gonna say that's a little bit beyond mine. I'm more of the James Brown cat. If you don't work, you can't eat. You know,
yeah.
You know, so you know, you know, I don't know how that works. If neither one of them work,
see, look, he's so little. My
head.
Dad is literal. He's like, okay, she don't work, he don't work. So what happens here?
Yeah.
Well, they both are independent. Or independent
on somebody.
On somebody. Yeah. But no, I think if the men, I honestly feel women are the majority of women are good, effective communicators, meaning they're going to say what it is they're wanting and they're going to be truthful. I'm going to say most of us. I know not all of it, but most of us. I feel like men, when they are meeting women, they may say, hey, I'm looking for somebody, but they don't put the time frame on there. Hey, I'm looking for someone. And the woman gets all excited. In his mind, he could be thinking this is a 5-10 year plan. You know, she's thinking 90 days. So she's giving her all and not realizing that it's not in her time frame.
Guys, are you feeling a little bashed at this moment? I don't.
Well, okay, Vic, have you ever told a woman you were wanting to be in a relationship, but you knew it was going to be years down the road? But you know, you were just, you know,
you knew it was going to be years down the road.
To tell her what she needed to hear so you could get to know her.
Not really. I mean, honestly, my experience, I told someone I wanted to be with him. I told him everything that was wrong with me. And then everything that was wrong with her.
Oh.
We need to fix.
Okay. If it's gonna work. Okay. So from he said that, you know, when he was at that state and time that he wanted to be in a relationship, he's like, hey, these are my faults, these are your faults, these are what we got to fix in order to move forward. And that's fair.
I'm curious, Vic, when you said these are my faults and these are your faults.
Did she say that's a lot order?
How did that these are your faults go?
Denial.
Well,
Mhm.
okay. I was just wondering how that. These are your faults went. I was just wondering how that part of the conversation went because she's
Okay, she's
still
still in denial.
still floating down denial.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think now that's when that's I teach and say that's like therapy words. What this is you think this is wrong with me? But there was this thing that's
Here, let me fix
viral
you just a little.
that's viral right now where the guy was taking this girl to Starbucks. He was like, and I don't know if you saw it or not, and she was like, I look like this and you're taking me to Starbucks. And he was like, yeah, I figured we could get coffee and we can talk. But she was just so outdone. She got her phone out, she started recording, and he literally stopped and was like, hey, you can get out and go on,
So
and
because he didn't want his personal life on social media.
well, I think that, yeah, I mean, he really felt like she's really, really trying to, put me out on Front Street. Like, I'm taking you to coffee because, that's kind of what most people do. Is I thought it was a nice gesture. If I was going out on a date and a person said, hey, let's go get coffee, I'm all for it.
So
Or
was she
tea.
saying? Was she saying she looked too good to go get coffee? Is that what?
Yeah, she felt like he was broke. It's like she felt like you're taking
Oh.
me to get coffee, you're broke. You don't have
Oh.
money to take me out to eat.
Oh.
And then there was the other one that went viral where the guy was taking her to, I think, Cheesecake Factory. And she was like, you're taking me to a chain to go eat, like a food chain. Like you couldn't do better than Cheesecake Factory. And I mean, I watched both the videos. I like Starbucks, so I'm good with Starbucks. And if somebody was going to take me to Cheesecake Factory, I would be good with that too. Did you see that one, Vic? I know, me too. I'm like, their food is great.
Cheesecake Factory is a bomb if you can eat cheesecake.
Kim, would you be offended if somebody wanted to take you to the Cheesecake Factory or to Starbucks?
Kim said she wouldn't be affected. So I mean, she wouldn't be offended. But it
affected or offended.
She might be affected, but she wouldn't be offended. But that's one of the things that causes the pretense that I talked about earlier. I don't mind. I mean, I'm not one that has to provide. I don't mind providing at all, totally. Because I mean, if I'm providing for your needs, then you should be providing for mine. That's
right.
The symbiotic relationship, some reciprocity.
Right. Reciprocity. You must put out. I mean, no. Okay, so that's it. The other thing. So that's so.
That sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You must put out.
Because and what was it? Something. I think Mom sent it today, and I was like, okay. It was the guy and the girl looking at the menu, and it's something like. She's like, you want me to pay? And she's looking at the menu and he goes, no. He goes, basically it says me in you. They were out to eat, And I was like, okay. But I think.
So he was saying that the word itself says Dutch.
Yeah, exactly. It's Dutch. Me in you. That was it. Yeah, you pay and me in you. But
I'll have to remember that one.
But I think even now today, I think there's probably more, and statistically, I can't remember what the numbers were, but statistically, the single numbers are higher than they've been ever. And it's probably because you have a lot of independent women and you got a lot of independent men. And, where does that softness come in at? Where does the woman say, okay, I've accomplished so much. I have so much, but you can compliment me this way, and vice versa for that man who's very career driven and trying to, climb the mountain. How can he actually soften himself enough to be receiving of a woman, and like how do those complement one another?
Well, so that's why I was saying earlier that I think that and to be serious for a moment, I believe that knowledge of self is the key to relationships. Most relationships fail because people get into them not having a knowledge of themselves. Right. If I don't expect too much from you, then it's you won't let me down so easily. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been in relationships where I've done all the cooking. I came home every day and cooked. It wasn't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? But if I am cooking, then don't ask me why the house is messy. You know what I'm saying? If we both working and I come home and I'm cooking, then somebody should be cleaning. Now, if I can clean and you can cook, but I'm just saying, don't look at me like I'm mule pack mule.
So basically, you're not gonna go to work, cook and clean, and the other person be like, "Oh, I have the best husband ever because he cooks and cleans and does the laundry and makes money." Does that exist?
And he died from exhaustion.
And he died. We gotta bury him.
And he left me a big insurance policy.
Yeah, that was a 10-year life plan. So, no, but I think and even now when so would you ever have let me ask you this question. Would you ever have a sugar mama? Would you date a woman who was 80 years old or look at Vic kind of saying, would you date?
I don't think I would. And I mean, I've had a chance. I had a chance to have women do that when I had women offer buy me all kinds of things when I was young, and in 99% of the cases I wouldn't let them. Because I knew that there was an expectation attached to that thing, and
cobwebs,
and I didn't know what it was, and by the time I found out what it was, I was going to be sorry. So I just, so I've never been one to let women buy me a whole bunch of stuff because I just knew that there was,
you didn't want to be the sugar. You didn't want to be a sugar baby.
No, we got about 3 minutes left, but talking about expectations. Now, this happened to me when I was going to paralegal school. My car had broken down, so I had a classmate who was a female, and she had given me a ride back and forth to class all week. So on the 5th day, on Friday, I you go into the gas stations and you get one of those single roses. I got one of those single roses and gave it to her. Oh, our producer is cracking up already. He says, I got one of the single roses and I gave it to her, because I wanted to make her feel good because she had been nice, So the next thing I knew, I was going home to meet mom and how come I wasn't? And so I asked someone, and because the rose was red, that's all they had in the gas station. I didn't think about.
She thought you loved her.
I didn't think that the color made a difference. Somebody said I should have bought her a yellow rose.
You learned.
Yeah. So, but I'm just, or maybe just thank you.
Just plain thank you very much for being so kind.
For being so kind. I don't know if we even found out what men expect from women today, but we found out a lot about what people expect in general. And it's a good topic of conversation.
We still have time.
The clock on the wall.
What time is it? We still have. Let's see. What time is it?
No, the clock on the wall says it's we don't have to go home, but we got to get out of here.
Right? I don't want to leave. This is good. I'm having a good old time.
Yeah. So is Vic over there? No, Vic ain't in over there. So he is.
So
okay.
So can you tell me the end of the story real quick? We have time. I don't know, Dad. But what the end of the story? So how did you break her heart? I mean, did you end up telling her that you bought the rose by accident? I just had
to tell her that I didn't buy the rose by accident. I gave her something that had a meaning attached to it that I didn't understand by accident.
Okay.
So yeah, and so I was the villain for a moment, but you don't really know what a person expects until you talk to them. I guess I should have maybe, just bought lunch.
She gave you rides because she liked you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I liked her too. I mean, but that doesn't.
But like and how?
Oh, see, I didn't. See, me like didn't mean let's get married today. See, it didn't mean.
And so I think that's if a person says, "Hey, I like you," sometimes that can be. Took a different way. But yes, we covered a lot. We covered the independent man, the independent woman, the statistic of 25% of adults would be single for their whole life.
Yeah.
So maybe enough of these conversations are not happening so people to, understand, and then at what point in time, probably the biggest one is between men and women is that whole 90-day rule. What does that mean? Is that really?
We're going to go one more minute. What's the 90-day rule? Vic, what's the 90-day rule? I don't know.
Have you heard about a 90-day rule?
Kim, have you heard about the 90-day rule?
Who wasn't that Steve Harvey? Who said that? Yeah, Steve Harvey. He was saying that before, probationary period.
Oh,
Yeah, you give that person, and I think it's true. I think 90 days, you don't really get a chance to see a person's true colors. Like, I mean, my first 30 days, I'm probably on my best behavior. 60 days, I may,
So you
pull
may slip
back
a
a
little
little
bit.
bit. 90, I'm like, okay, I'm in this thing.
Yes,
You get the true me. I'm not holding nothing back. And then you'd be like, well, dang, how come you didn't tell me that 90 days
30
ago?
days ago.
Yeah. So I think that people do, you get, this, that you get comfortable. And in 90 days, you can really see how a person is. I mean, they do that on a job,
Yeah.
You got you on 90 days. I need you at work on time. Don't be late. Don't call. Don't come in. Don't not come in. Don't call. I mean, these are just general things. And you have people hear about this all the time where they call a guy and they don't hear from him for 2 days and they pop back up mysteriously. Oh, I was working. I was busy.
Yeah. Well, I guess I think I hear the next show cast coming. This is speaking facts with Charlie and JR. Speaking the facts with Charlie and JR. Excuse me. We will be back next week, 7:00. Same bat time. Same fact time. Same fact channel.
We keep going back to Batman.
Right.
I don't know what happened. So, Tuesday,
7:00.
Same fact
Same
time.
fact time, same fact channel. The Fly Guy and the Fly Girls will be
and
back.
if you guys enjoyed this topic, let us know. And again, we're looking for people to come on the show. We definitely are. We want, you have a business, you have something that you're passionate about, that you want people to know, definitely reach out to us, our producer, and we just hope to talk to y'all soon.
Yep. And until next time, I'm not gonna sing Happy Trails. Well, Roy Rogers popped into my head. But until next time, love yourself, because if you do, it'll be a lot easier to love
somebody else.
See y'all next time.
Bye.